Hi, today we're going to be doing a spin on the usual coffee paparoti bun by giving it a matcha crust and filling it with matcha custard. I make my milk buns using the Yudane method, which means we have to prep this the night before. So first we're just going to mix 70 grams of flour with 70 ml of hot water. Just mix it together until it forms a dough and put it in the fridge overnight. Since I've already gotten my hands dirty and making something the night before, I'm also going to prep the custard the night before as well. So what we're going to do is just whisk the eggs together until they're evenly combined and then add in the sugar and then mix that until it's fully incorporated. Then sift in the flour and the matcha powder and whisk that until it's evenly mixed through and just set it aside. We're then going to pour the milk into a pot and heat it over medium-low heat. We're going to turn off the heat once bubbles begin to form around the edges of the pot. Then slowly pour the milk into the egg mixture while continuously whisking. To make sure that we don't have any clumps of flour in our custard, we're going to pour the mixture through a sieve back into the pot and then we're going to return it to the stove and cook it over medium-low heat until it starts to thicken into a custard. We're then going to pour the custard into a container and cover it with cling wrap. Make sure that the cling wrap touches the custard so that it doesn't form a skin. The next morning we're going to make the milk buns, so place the flour, sugar, salt and yeast into a large bowl and then we're just going to lightly mix them together. I'm using instant yeast here, which means I don't have to activate it with warm water before adding it to the flour. We're then going to whisk the egg and the milk together and then pour it into the flour mixture. Then add in the Yudane we made from the previous night and then start mixing everything together until it forms a dough. Once you've formed like a scraggly dough, place it onto a flat surface and knead it until it's smooth. It doesn't have to be totally smooth, we just want to get rid of the bumps and lumps. It should take about 5 to 10 minutes and then we can add in the butter. Just place the butter in the middle of the dough and continue kneading it until it's really smooth. When you first add in the butter, it's not going to mix well with the dough and it'll look like you've done something wrong, but don't worry, just continue kneading it until you get a really soft and smooth dough. You can also test if the dough is ready by using your finger to press down into the dough, and if it springs back, then you've formed enough gluten. Once you've kneaded your dough until it's smooth, place it into a bowl and just let it rest for about an hour or until it doubles in size. While the dough is resting, we're going to make the matcha crust, so just cream the butter and sugar together. Once we've creamed our butter, we're going to add in the egg and beat it until it's light and fluffy. We're then going to mix the matcha powder with water and add it into the butter and then just beat it until it's incorporated. Then sift in the cake flour and fold that through until it's evenly combined. We're then going to put this mixture into a piping bag and then just set it aside. When the dough has doubled in size, punch out the air and then turn it out onto a flat surface. We're then going to lightly knead the dough until it turns into a ball and then we're going to cut it into 8 equal pieces. We're going to take a piece of dough and knead it into a ball and then we're going to flatten it out into a circle shape. It doesn't have to be a perfect circle, just as long as it's big enough to add in your custard. Then we're going to take a tablespoon of the custard and place it into the dough and pinch the seams together. Make sure that the seams are pinched together tightly so that none of the custard can leak through when you're baking it. Once you've sealed it shut, roll it around in the palm of your hand so that you get a more uniform circle. Place these onto baking paper and then wait for it to rise until it's 1.5 times its size. When they're ready, we're going to pipe the matcha crust onto the bun in a swirling motion. You need to pipe it until it's about 3/4 the way down the bun. Once you finish piping the crust, we're going to bake it at 190 degrees for 15 minutes. And there you have it, soft fluffy buns filled with matcha custard with a crispy matcha topping. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe.